Hey friends, Dave here. Fishing not working, and I am absolutely not working again. Someday this may catch up with me, I don't know. But this is actually a remake of a video I made the other day, and I think our lovely friends at YouTube kind of throttled it down because I used some words that they don't like opioids and oxycodone and things like that. So I'm taking that one down and we're going to redo it. But I got this unique jig. It's quite unique. At least in my head it's unique. And it came to me in a weird way. I just got my knee replaced about 3 weeks ago, a little over. And when you get your knee replaced, it's very, 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 very painful. They give you these drugs to help with the pain, like Percocet or oxycodone. And in the beginning, you really load up on them because it hurts. And then you start, when you're really loading up on it, you have these crazy dreams. It's bizarre. But basically, I had a dream putting 3 or 4 ideas together, and it came out very interesting. And it looks good, and it's unique. And I think it'll really work. So let's not waste any words. Let's get into this. So let me show you what we're going to use for this. I really like jigs because you can use them for anything. And I get these unpainted jigs. They're just basically on Amazon. They're just jigs. Okay. Now, golly. Okay. One more time. They're just jigs. They come unpainted, and I take fingernail polish, paint them. Okay. And certain fingernail polish works better than other. Black is a good one. It may its quality as a fingernail polish. I don't know anything about fingernail polish, but dollar store, it's cheap. Pick out a color. If it's not a really good color, you hit it twice with the stuff, which is kind of a pain, but the black works real well. The other thing I use, which is quite unique, and the key to everything, is you go to the dollar store again, and you go to the kids aisle. You ever seen these at the kids aisle? These are silicone, okay? And this is a key ingredient, material to what we're gonna make. A little bit unique. I think I've seen it before. I've used them before, but this is a little different than anything in the past. So watch this. Okay, we're gonna get this camera as close as we can to this so it's easier for you to see. It's one thing I've noticed in making videos. I don't get the camera close enough so you can watch what's happening, but we'll just start with some thread. Put the jig in the vise. The other thing I do before I forget, there's always a little nub here that grabs like rubber, worms and stuff. Flatten that out a little bit. And we'll just take some thread and what we call dressing the hook. Get it started on here. This is a backing for everything to adhere to, basically. Okay, so let's get into this here. This is I don't know what color you call this, but you can get these in different colors. So you take a color that you think the fish might like, or you can mix them. So for the sake of everything, I want to mix them today. So I'm going to take one of these. Now here's what you got to watch. Here's the key to everything. You grab a piece, whatever. You come down here on the base and snip it with the base. Get a little bit of the base. It's easier to do it. I got 2 of them. Look at that. So we'll pull one of these off. Okay. Okay, so this base, when we cut these off, you can use as many as you want. And I got that little tab on the end that's going to make it flip. I try to use three of these. Now these are silicone. These are very similar to these. This is a strip. I had a bunch on here. I've used them. These are called squirmy worms on eBay. Okay. If you're a fly fisherman or if you're a trout fisherman, there's a fly called a squirmy worm, or I forgot what it's called. Shoot. Okay, if you're a trout fisherman, they use a fly called a San Juan worm. It's basically a rubber worm or a worm made out of material, and you'll tie it to a hook, and it looks like a worm as you're going down a stream. Well, this is the kind of material. It's a silicone worm. They're fairly cheap. You can get like a package of 12 different colors of these for like $10. Not too expensive. Here's an orange one. Okay. That's the tail. But these are unique because they have this end on them that's going to bounce around the water. So let's grab another one of these just for kicks. Pick a spot. Maybe I'll do better this time. Come down here and just grab a little bit of the, that's more like it, a little bit of the base of it. So we got this little tab down here that is going to move when it goes to the water. So let's just take, for kicks, let's just take one off of here. And we'll try this, and they're a magnet for flash. Look at that. Okay. Holy cow. Okay. Let's pull this one right here. Where'd all the flash come from? Okay, here we go. This is a little easier. Let's just get a little bit of the base. Now that's a pretty big base. We can trim it down a little bit. But that'll be fine. Okay, so what we now have is 3 of these that are going to make up the tail. And when you drag them through the water, they're going to wiggle. So the whole trick now is getting these on to your jig. And that is not as easy as it looks, believe it or not. This is probably the hardest part of the whole fly. So let's get this string down here. Thread, I should say, technically speaking. Okay, let's just take this right here and see if we can get the string to cooperate. If it's not, give it a twist and it will grab it better. Kind of, maybe. Or it should have. Just wasn't listening. See, that's kind of what happens. Okay, so get a thread around it or two. Don't pull tight. And try to adjust it where you want. See that? It just doesn't want to. Maybe I spun it the wrong way. Let's try that. There we go. So get you a few threads around it before you cinch her tight. Get it. Oh my gosh. Too much oxycodone. I don't know. Okay. Let's get this thing adjusted. It's totally adjustable. That's really pretty good there. But as I turn it this way, it kind of rolls it that direction. So, but before you go too far, put a couple tight wraps on it, just so it does. If you get it where you like it, wrap her down. Okay? We're going to get the opposite side. And I'll put that little orange one in the middle. So we're going to take another one of these, come to my side, try to make them approximately the same. Man, that doesn't want to go. Approximately the same length. And that first wrap is totally adjustable. Get it to what you think is approximately right. See, now that one's a tad longer, so let me pull a little bit of this. Not that it matters too much. That's about right. Okay, so And the other thing, we want it to this side, one to this side, one to that side, and we'll put one in the middle on top. Try to get a little bit symmetrical, at least for my sake. Fish don't care, I really don't think. But they are kind of adjustable as we pull them. Okay, we're gonna take the third one. We're gonna lay it on top. Approximately same length. Try this again. You see how it wants to go? Like I say, this is the hardest part. If your fingers are really good, you probably have a lot better luck than I have. If you're not taking oxycodone, I'm sure you have better luck. But you can take the whole thing and twist it over. Here we go. Now we're getting close. Just got to talk to it. Look at that. Holy Toledo. I'm struggling. Okay, if all else fails, just back it off and do it again. That's the beauty of this. If things don't work out, just start over. There, I got it even square. Okay, we're going to try this again. Don't do as I do, do as I say. You heard that one before? Get it on there straight. Like I say, it's easier said. Okay, that is looking pretty good. So we are going to take this carefully, and we're going to try to cover up some of these little bubbles where the thread, because they need to be covered up somewhat. If they don't bleed through, you'll see why here in a minute. They will probably come through when I'm done. The other thing you can do, you can spin this out. If this is a floss, you could open this up and it just takes up more space, but let's try this. Some thread on here. Okay, next thing we're going to use. Now, we can use these squirmy worms for the body, but what I've found is much easier to use. These are skirts. The people who make lures use skirts on the end of the lure. You can get any color you want, any design you want. Here's some cool ones. They're kind of a fluorescent green with a little flash in them, which is nice. So depending what you think the fish are biting on, if you want to use orange. But these are thinner. And the advantage of that is they're just much easier to use. Now I did years ago buy, I'll try that again. Many years ago, I bought, this is skirt material from the old days, okay, like 20 years ago. And you could buy this in strips and you pull off a piece of it. And this is a little bit thicker than those and a little longer. So I got a lot of room to, if I really want to give it a bigger body. If you need a big body and you're using the small ones, you can double. You can put 2 of them on here and just wrap one at a time. But basically, we're just going to wrap this in here. We'll tie it in. Okay. This is plenty long enough to make, I won't use all of it. But, okay. Put a half hitch there just to tie that string off, maybe. Oh, I messed that one up. See that? I think I went around the eye of the hook. Yeah, I don't know if I did. Here, let's do this again. Wow. Don't take drugs, kids. Okay, there you go. We're going to get this string out of the way. This is a rotating vise, which is quite handy for certain things like this. But you don't need one. I mean, you can just wrap it. This is just a lot easier. You'll see why here. Okay, so let's get this where you can see it. I'm just going to grab this thread. I'm not going to pull real tight. I'm going to snug. And we're going to put a layer on here, just a quick layer. And we're going to go back and forth. And depending how tight you pull it as to how it looks, how much space it takes up. So when you've got a body that you like, or the size that you like, just go tie the thing off. And I'm getting close. Now look good there. Get this out of the way. Okay, I want to tie this off. One thing when you're using rubber like this or silicone, absolutely do not use glue. Glue will just eat this stuff up and disintegrates. And it'll take a few days, but you'll open your tackle box and grab one and it's all, you don't even recognize it. It just kind of ate it all up. Okay, let's tie this off. Or cut this off. Okay, what I found in my years of fishing, that fish kind of like shiny stuff sometimes. So we're going to add a little shine to it, right? Flash. Can you see that? It's just like a foil strips, tiny, called flash. You buy it like this. It's very hard to keep it square and straight for unorganized people like me, but that's why it's all over my stuff. But anyway, so we're going to take this. I digress. We're tied on. Okay, nothing special. Let's throw another half hitch in here. Keeps this line kind of straight so I don't have to hang on to it now. I'll wrap this up, get her close because it's easier to use. Now, we're going to wrap this flash on here. We're going to wrap this flash on here. We don't want to wrap tight because these little bends in it or whatever they call, if you wrap too tight, it doesn't look as good. And how much you put on here is totally up to your discretion. How much bling you want. And it really doesn't take a lot just to make it shine. And basically in the sunshine, it'll catch this, and I think it kind of attracts fish. I'm going to tighten this up. Should have done that before. I let go of it, got loose. Man, I'm struggling. Okay, here we go. Okay, we want to tie this off quickly before I lose it. Okay, there we go. See that? We're almost done. Hang tight. Okay, we want to get a knot in here. Just enough to keep it until we get to the last step. Let's just put a quick knot in there. It ain't going anywhere. Okay, so here we are. Okay, good so far. Now we're going to add a special ingredient. Check this out. This is UV glue. It's clear. This is the thick. Loon makes a thin and a thick. The thin is much easier to use than the thick. But my thin is getting really low, so I just want to try this, and it works. So what we're going to do, I'm going to put a thin coat of thick glue on here. We want to make sure it's all coated though, so not too thin. And this is going to hold everything in place permanently. And really the fly, the jig should last a very long time, because this is it's kind of like shellacking it or varnishing a piece of wood. It's going to put a coating on it. The fish teeth are not going to be able to hurt this. So just a thin coat. Okay. Okay, here we go. This is a cheap UV light, or you call it a torch. It's just I think it's a one double A battery. It's black light. See that? And basically, when UV light hits this, it turns rock hard. Almost immediately. Almost. So what I do is I just sit here and shine this thing. Now, if I had one with, two C cell batteries, it'd do it a lot quicker. This one's kind of weak, but it works fine, as you're going to see. And I'll probably take 15 seconds to do this. Just make sure I got it all. Maybe 20, I don't know. And if you touch it, it's a little bit tacky, which is just slightly tacky. We'll just hit it with some more light. Pretty simple. Okay. Yeah. Let's see what we got here now. Okay, here's what I'm looking for. Here's our finished product. Here's our finished product. We got 3 tails. You could probably do this with 1 or 2 or whatever you think. Tails are a little long in proportion to the jig, but this is a jig that you don't want to drop like under a boat and just jig vertically. This is one you probably want to drag a little bit. Cast it out and bring it in. If you got kids, put on a bobber, put it 18 inches down, 2 foot down. Have them throw it out there. It's easier with the bobber. And just bring it back slowly. And I'm sure it'll work if you can get the right colors. So I think the bigger thing is colors that you use. And I like the flash. I've always liked flash. It's just an attractant. So, but it's got a little flash. It'll catch some sunshine. This will work. Those are easy to make. Pick the colors that you think will work, or what you've worked in the past. Maybe start with there. Chartreuse. You might try some natural colors. Match some fish in your neighborhood or wherever you're fishing. Try some bright colors. Get a variety. Get them done for spring. This is January, so I'm not out fishing because I can't. I just can't. I want to, because we've had some 60-degree days, but I can't right now. So this is the next best thing. So try this. I think you'll enjoy it. If nothing else, it's therapeutic. So, hey, we'll see you next time. Good luck. Take a kid fishing. We'll see you.